Good morning and welcome. Let me know if you can hear me. So we'll wait a few more minutes before we get started. This is the presentation from the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering at San Diego State University. And we're going to start shortly. So William, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good, thank you. I'll give it one more minute before we start. Oh, 9. Okay, this is 11:02. We'll get this meeting started. First of all, welcome and thank you all for joining today's meeting. My name is Chris Mee. I'm the chair and professor of the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering at San Diego State University. So today, I will explain to you what our program is about, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. The session is recorded for the benefits of those who cannot attend today. If you have any questions, please raise your hand, or you can type into the chat window. I will answer your questions once I finish the presentation. So when I talk to students like you, I always start by talking, what is electrical engineering? What is application? Why I'm doing this? So I will give you an example here. As you can see on this screen, there's a tower that was built by Nikola Tesla over 100 years ago. And he had a dream to deliver power through the air instead of using cable. As you all know that even today, we have to plug in our devices all over the place, whether it's your laptop, your refrigerator, your cell phone, you have to charge them by plugging them in. However, you probably know that you can get wireless charging today for your phone and some laptops, tablets, and so on. So this technology itself has been 100 years old, but it's only been realized recently because the progress we have made in technology and the progress that have been made possible by electrical engineers and computer engineers. So that is why I want to get this started. Where do you use this wireless charging? In addition to the capability of charging your phone You can charge your laptops, you can charge your hand tools. And most importantly, you can also charge some devices inside your body. Example would be a pacemaker. And when people have a heart failure or dysfunction of the heart, nowadays it's very popular to put a pacemaker inside the body. But the pacemaker has a battery. That battery only lasts a few years. What would you do when the battery is running out? And in the past, the only way is to do another surgery, to insert another pacemaker or replace the battery. But in the future, you will be able to charge the battery inside the body without doing an operation on the body. So that's something you can see. It's very, very exciting for human life in the future. And on the bottom, you can also see another diagram where you can charge an electric vehicle without plugging the cable. So your vehicle will be charged, whether it's parked in the garage or it's parked in a parking structure, or it's been even operating on a highway. You can get the vehicles charged while you're driving. But all of this would not be possible without engineers like you and myself and everybody in the field to work on this. But when you do this, you notice that there's a great danger because there is electromagnetic field. Sometimes we call this a radiation. That radiation can cause negative impact on human bodies and on animals and on metals that might ignite a fire that can destroy your vehicle. So what do you do? As you can see here, we can build a computer model. Using that model, we can simulate how the human body or a small animal or a metal can behave in those kind of conditions. So all this can be done with tools like computational tools. And you can visually see the change of the magnetic electrical field in motion. So this is all built by simulations. And I know many of you will are probably playing games, and this is something similar to that, but this is simulating the real phenomena in the real life. So you can do this by putting a human next to the car, or put a human inside the car, or put an animal under the car. You can see how the heat is generated by just looking at the computer model. But this would not be possible without understanding the fundamentals like the physics, the electrical circuits, the magnetic field, the electric field, and the material properties. All these kind of things you have to learn through this program. So with that, I want to dive into our program. In the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering, we offer 2 Bachelor of Science degrees, one in electrical engineering, one in computer engineering, and both programs are on campus. You come to campus and you take classes and laboratories at SDSU campus. In the near future, we will be offering what's so-called computer engineering degree completion program. That program will start next year, not this year. With that program, you will be able to take classes online, and then you still have physically to come to campus to take laboratory experiments. But that program, again, is not for this cohort, but for the near future, this will be offered. In addition to those undergraduate programs, we also offer graduate program. And our graduate program include masters in electrical engineering, and that has on-campus version. And we offer, for example, communication, DSP, and so on. We also have online version where we offer concentration in communications. Like many of you, San Diego is very famous for communication, where you have Apple, Qualcomm, and all these companies in San Diego, and power. And you have all these utility companies, you have defense companies. They're hiring many of our graduate students and undergrad students. So we're going to have online MSE program, which you can take in the near future when you graduate from our program. And we'll be offering also an online Masters of Science in Computer Engineering program, which again, these programs are available to you once you graduate from SDSU. We also offer a doctorate program, which is a PhD. Also, sometimes we also offer Masters in Engineering program, which is joint.
I'm a little late. No problem.
Joint program between engineering and business. So you can get a degree in Masters by taking classes in College of Engineering and College of Business. And we also have this joint doctoral program with UCSD, which means some graduate students, if you excel in your undergraduate studies and you want to go to graduate school, you can take on this doctoral program and finish a PhD degree. Then you can go on to become a faculty or become a research scientist at a defense company or industrial company or a research institute. So this opportunity is available once you finish your bachelor's degree. And in our department, our faculty, in addition to teaching graduate and undergraduate classes, they also conduct research. And many of these research programs are available to undergraduate students as well. You can participate in the research and get a credit, and you can also apply by working with the faculty for summer research internships, where you can get paid for the summer doing 10 weeks of research with the faculty and also getting paid for the 10 weeks work with the faculty. So that gives you a glance of what you be able to do in research. And our research has been increasing in terms of research dollars in the past couple of years, and we are going to become a very important part of the campus life for many of the undergraduate students who enjoy our program. Within the program itself, we have both electrical and computer engineering measures. So which means you can get either EE degree or comp degree. And those degrees will cover areas like communications, I mentioned about it, power generation, distribution, biomedical, which is another area that is very hot and very popular in San Diego. You have many companies working in biotech, biomedical, which means many of our students go into that industry as well. Our electrical engineers, they work in teams, they design things, they develop things, they test, they measure, they install, maintain, and certify systems. So computer engineers work, they develop, for example, digital devices, components, they develop software, they develop systems, they develop apps, they develop information systems, they create a storage, retrieval, computation, security, all of good things that you can name. Our admission requirement, in fact, that the admissions are managed by the campus. You have to meet a certain criteria like your GPA, your extracurricular activities, your ACT score, or your SAT score, and those things will be taken into consideration for freshmen. For transfers, you have to meet a certain GPA and a number of credits that you earn at a community college. So our when you can apply directly to our program with EE or comp as your major when you apply to SDSU, or you can transfer to our program after you are admitted to SDSU for a certain amount of time when you finish a certain number of classes. So basically, when you are admitted to the major, you have to complete with a grade C or better. So all grade runs for A, B, C, D, and F. F means fail. C really means about 70 to 79% is a C in terms of percentage of grade. You have to get C or better in 6 classes. So that includes electrical engineering 210, which is a circuit class, computer engineering 160, which is a programming class, introduction like to C, C++ programming. Mathematics 150 and 151, which is calculus 1, 2, and physics 195 and 196, which basically are the basic physics class. I know many of you have taken AP classes in your high school, and you may be able to get a waiver to take any of these classes. You have already taken this class as an AP course in your high school study. And this class cannot be taken as a credit or non-credit. So by the time you have C or better in these 5 classes, you have already finished many of the general education classes, which means like writing, literature, humanity, music. All this created around 40 credit hours of G's. I think the total was 53, including maths and physics. That you have to have a GPA of 2.7 in order to be able to be accepted into our major. If you don't get 2.7, you don't have a chance to repeat some of those classes to improve your GPA before you're accepted into major. And then when you are thinking or when you are applying to our program, when you are get admitted to our program, which means you have to do a number of things in order to be successful. For example, I listed just a few. One is that you don't avoid tough classes, which means some students say, oh, they keep asking their peers or their students, friends, and say, oh, which class is easy, or which professor is easy? Can I take those classes? Don't do that, because what you need to do is not to look at the level of difficultness of the class, but you want to take the classes that you have to pass them in order to get the major, and later on you have to select the class that is good for your career, good for your interest, good for your professional growth. You need to work hard on mathematics and physics, because those establish a foundation for your future study. And I always use this example as building a house. You cannot build a house in the air. You have to build a foundation. You don't have a good foundation, the house will not last very long. Similarly, in our study, in our career, that you have to have a foundation, which is mathematics and physics, and sometimes even writing. Those are foundations for your future study. So if you don't have those foundations, you will not do well in your future studies. So then, next thing to be careful is that look for opportunities in related field. For example, the internships are available all the time. We get requests from companies. They ask for a student to do the intern during summer or during the regular semester as a part-time. And we also have many undergraduate research experience programs throughout the country sponsored by the National Science Foundation. These programs are competitive. However, most of our students are eligible to apply. This is not guarantee you will get to the school that you wanted, but if you try a few, you will get one, or you most likely get one if you have a decent GPA and you have motivation to do research in the summer. When you are admitted to this program, the university that you apply to will cover your travel expenses, your housing, sometimes even a room and board, sometimes just the housing, a room, and they pay you $5,000 or $6,000, depending on which program you apply to. For the 10 weeks program, then you get to learn new stuff, you get to know people, then you can discover your interest. So I would encourage you to look for this opportunity. If you have questions, talk to our faculty. They are here to help you, and they are very helpful in terms of many aspects, not just the class that you take, but other areas of things you need to know. Maintain a good academic performance. I know some students saying, oh, I only need a 2.0 GPA to graduate. Why do I have to work hard? Well, it's important for you to work hard because a good GPA really says something when you look for a job. And also that that GPA also stands for, means that you are having a good knowledge in the field. So it will be easier for you to get into your job with success. Build a good habits and discipline, and that's important because the university will teach you some specific knowledge in certain subjects, but it's not going to teach you everything. Personality, for example, and a good habit, good working habit, good study habit, and how you build your lifelong learning skills. That's something that's important for you to build over the next couple of years. And read some technical magazines, read newspapers in your technical field, watch online videos. Many of these will help you to build over time for your future career. I want to list here, in addition to the GE general education classes and the math, physics, circuits, and computer programming, I would list here a number of what we call upper level or senior level classes. As you can see here, we offer many choices. Many of them are elective. We offer many more than what you need to graduate in our program. Often you only need 3, 4, or maybe 5 elective courses, but we offer more than 20 of them. You can select some of the elective classes to fit your interest. But if you don't know what interest you have, and you don't get what you want to do yet, you can sample a number of classes. For example, you can choose from digital communications, power systems, microcontrollers, multimedia, VLSI, very large integrated circuit systems, embedded systems, You name them. You can sample them, and you can then try to see if you like one better than another. So that would determine what you do. And then you can also move on to your graduate study. What I mentioned earlier is that you can expand your knowledge. Nowadays, with the explosion of knowledge, often we found that, or employers found that a bachelor's degree is not sufficient in many areas of the industry, which means a graduate degree often can help you do better and get paid better too. Often a graduate student will get paid at least $10 to $20 more than somebody with a bachelor's degree. So where do you go after graduation? Well, there's depending on what you're trained, what the specialization area that you choose. For example, you can go to chip design with Qualcomm, component design, you can go system designs, you can go to a company like Pfizer to help them with the electrical system. It also depends on the breadth of your knowledge and skills. For example, some people go to wireless communications, digital signal processing, control system, microelectronics, and so on. And how capable you are to handle rapid changes in technology. Like people build, people design simulation tools, people become application engineer to support simulation tools like ANSYS. Some people start to help people building videos, YouTube videos even, build nanosystems, build data, artificial intelligence, machine learning, CAD, CAE. And also, it will depend on your personality and your ethics, your aptitude. All these things will make a big difference in your future career. So in our program, we have this general education where we provide the student with, for example, the technology skills, general education, communication skills, the problem solving skills, the intellectual skills. All these skills is not taught in a single class. They're taught throughout the years that you are here with the school, that you have to build many of these. Some of them will be on your own, some of them building with your peers, some of them will be collaborative work between you and your advisor and the faculty. So generally, if you look at either electrical or computer engineering, you finish the general education, you finish the required classes, including biology, mathematics, computer, electrical engineering. You choose a laboratory class where you get trained on your hands-on skills, and you select, I mentioned earlier, elective classes. And then finally, you choose a senior design project where you work with a team of students, 4, 5, 6 students together to build a system where you build simulation models, you design the circuit, then finally you actually buy components, build the prototype, test them, and finally you write your report, you attend the senior design day to present your design to your peers, to present to our industrial mentors, our industrial advisory board, and people from the industry, they come here to see our senior design projects. So all field of specialization in the department included, I mentioned many times, included wireless communications, digital signal processing, electromagnetics, circuits, antennas, microelectronics, embedded system, robotics, power systems, computer networks, image processing, multimedia, digital systems, very large scale integrated circuits. All these are covered in our program. And again, you have to take certain classes to be able to focus on one area or any one of our areas. So you might ask, why are we coming? Why are we coming to SDSU, to the EC department? Well, I can list probably a ton over here. But most importantly, our program is ABET accredited program, which means this is accredited program where your degree was more than a program that does not have accreditation. We have professors who are very knowledgeable, mainly about research. Our professors conduct a lot of research, which means not only they teach the classical subjects, but they are also good in the field, and they know the new knowledge. They develop their knowledge during their career, so they teach students, they update your own knowledge. All faculty are approachable. You can email them, call them, go to their office hours. They're very responsive. They help wherever it's needed. We also have additional program like a free tutoring program. You have difficulty, you can go to tutoring center. Those are free. And we have MESA, math, engineering, and then for this student, so you can go there and get help with your study. We have a good connection with our local high-tech industry, whether you mentioned Qualcomm, Apple, or SDGNE. We have good connection. We have senior design projects that train the student hands-on skills with practical experience. We do have laboratories where you have state-of-art facilities where you can access, you can build, and you can design. It is a very reputable school. We are ranked #1 in the nation about international exchange studies. We ranked top 20 among the best value schools in the US for the money that you pay and for the outcome you get. We are ranked top in many categories among the nation. And in general, our program is ranked pretty well. Also, and in San Diego, you have only 3 universities, and our admission is very competitive. And every year we have the most application among all the CSU schools. And our admission rate is less than 30%. So how do you enhance the value of your study at SDSU in ECE? We have a few recommendations since you want to do, like you can participate in undergraduate research I mentioned earlier already, and you can join a professional society, IEEE, for example. You can join an honor society. You can set a professional goal. What you want to do, you want to have a job, or you want to go to industry, or you want to go to do graduate study. Do you want to take advantage of the international exchange program and study for 1 semester or 1 year at another country like Georgia or Germany, for example, and participate in like design competitions, where there's a future energy competition, there's a micro Mars competition, there's a NASA flight competition. So many of the stuff that you can do, clubs, robotics, and so on. Since you don't do, is that don't select too many classes. Because in our program, we have found some students taking like 18, 21, 24 units of class. That's too many. Focus, get a good grade, take the right amount. Typically, we recommend for students for struggling, take 12, which is full-time minimum. Take 15 to 16 if you're capable. Don't go more than 18. That's too much work. Don't skip a class, because if you skip a class for the semester, you're going to be behind, because that is a prerequisite for another class. Right? You cannot take the next class without finishing 2 times, for example. Right? When you select your elective classes, don't go for the easy ones, but for the ones that you like, for the ones that can help you with your career. So when you do those things, you can do well, and you can graduate. And once you graduate, the opportunity is nationwide, not only just San Diego, but you look at Southern California, including Northern California, the Silicon Valley, for example, Tesla. We have a lot of students going to there to do interns and then stay on for their jobs. Boeing, for example, and we have all kinds of different employers, government, industry, utility, SDGNE, you mentioned, PG&E, and so on. Often this job comes with significant benefits and competitive wages. So that is important that you focus on your study, you get your degree, then you graduate on time. Even before you graduate, you can decide what you want to do. You want to find a job, you want to further study for master's or PhD. And this is something you can decide. You can talk to us. We'll help you to understand and to help you with your career in the future. And when you come in, be careful is that there's a general catalog, which means when you come in 2021, you are looking at what you need to do with your 2021 catalog. So the classes that list there, the requirements are all within that catalog. This is online, you can download. So you stick with the catalog, and at some point you need to submit your master plan, which the master plan decides what you choose for your elective classes and so on. So that will come to me, and I will approve your master plan. But look at the catalog, what you need to do. And then get advice. We have a different level of advice. There's advising center at the university that you can go to get advice on general education, on your 4 years plan, and so on. And you can log into your web portal to do a degree audit and look at what you need to take suggested 4-year graduation plan, and which class you need to take at what semester. So you have that already when you apply, when you go to your web portal online. You can go to MESA, for example, office, our tutoring center in the College of Engineering. You can get help from your peers, not only with your course material, but also with your planning of classes and so on, schedule of classes. Within office hours of professors, they help, but you have to go. You have to take initiative because we have over 1,400 students in our department. We only have 20 plus faculty members. They cannot possibly go to every student to tell them that I want to help you. It's impossible. So it is students who take the initiative, go to the professor and ask for help. If you don't ask, you probably don't get it. But if you ask, you definitely will get it. So that's something you need to keep in mind. Know where the offices are. Know your professor. Know where you can get help. Where is the MESA office? Now, I know for you, it's all like, oh my God, there's so much information. But once you get animated, you need to find out. You have orientation. Right? During the orientation, ask, where is it? Where can I get it? With all those information on hand. And you are bound to be successful in your study. In the next couple of years, you're going to graduate on time. You're going to find a job, or you're going to continue with your graduate studies. Whatever you do, then you're going to be successful. The worst part is that you don't get what you need because you don't know where to find it. And you don't graduate on time. And you continue with your study with more years, that's going to be waste of time, money, effort, and sometimes even with mentally impact you. So I think this is important. Now, I want to mention that not everybody will be graduating in 4 years because we understand each person has a unique situation. You may have to work part-time and take class part-time. You may have to support your family. And you may have to, you may have disabilities that prevent you to take class full-time. So whatever that situation applies to you, talk to us. We're going to help you. So that's what it is important that you work with us, you let us know what we did. Another thing I want to mention is this virtual thing that we're doing this year because pandemics. I think next year, hopefully in the fall, most of you will be able to come to campus and at least take some of the classes in person on campus. So that way, yeah, I think it's going to help a lot. Virtually, I know many people have difficulties, especially in getting to know people, getting to know where to get help, and those are the things that is going to be different in the fall. So I hope that my talk is informational. It's interesting, inspiring, hopefully, that it's going to convince you to join our program, whether it's computer engineering or electric engineering, right? Whether you're coming fresh as a freshman or you're coming as a transfer student. So this is going to be your chance to work with us. And I am going to stop the presentation here, and I want to show you, in fact, a few links where you can get the information from, and also I will answer any question you have. So please type your questions into the chat box so that I can answer your questions. So let me close this window, and I want to go to this website so that I can share with you. So nowadays, actually, everything is so simple. If you type simply in a Google search box or any search tools, you will be able to find the information you need. For example, I want to type SDSU ECE. It will bring you to the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department website. And over this website, we have a lot of information. Now, the ones that are critically important to you, for example, you go to people and you go to faculty or lectures. So if you go to faculty, for example, you will be able to find the office, like my office is E426 Engineering Building, my phone number, my website, and my email address. So if you go to my website, you'll be able to find where there's an email address here. So, and some other professor office hours are listed and their email addresses, and you can email them and ask for their office hour information if it's not listed. And right now, of course, it's all virtual, but in the future, you'll be able to go to the office. And we have faculty, and we also have, don't worry about this, Georgia. We have a campus in Georgia. Those are faculty from not the state of Georgia, but the Republic of Georgia in Europe. And we have lectures, we have staff, where if you need any, for example, you want to look at your master plan, you go to Robin. You want to apply for some scholarships, teaching assistantships, you go to Angelica. If you need advice on what components you need to buy for your senior design, you go to Mark Bruno. Okay, so those, and if you don't understand what research we are doing, you can always go here and you can look at what other faculty doing in terms of research. So the next important tab is where you look at for the computer engineering and electrical engineering program. It gives you a lot of detailed information about the program. And also here, there's a link for your master plan and a mind map. So if you go to this master plans for 2021 fall, for example, it tells you what you need to do, what classes you need to take, and you can put your electives. And this form can be changed anytime, which means if you submit one and later on you find, no, I don't want to do communication, I want to do focus on power. You can come back and redo this form, it will be changed and recorded. So if you go to My Map on both computer and electrical, print this out because this is important. If you plan to do a 4-year study and graduate in 4 years, this tells you what a sequence you need to take for the classes so that you can graduate in 4 years of time. So this is important website that you need to come to. And then there are other information available, you can certainly browse. And if you want to look at for that catalog, which we are also listing them in our website, like you can go to this general catalog, which will come to what only the computer engineering and electrical engineering. But if you want to go to the SDSU general catalog, you can always search for SDSU general catalog, and you can come to this general catalog, and you can actually download the complete catalog and in PDF, and you can do a search. And I think it's better than the paper version because you can do a search function. Now, if you go to our engineering website of the college, and you will be able to find other information. For example, you can go to academics where you can find like advising, where you can find advising, for example, and you can find where the MESA program. There are certain like job opportunities, and all this information will be available to you. And you can also find the office time and the office hours. So the other thing, of course, you can search on again, SDSU advising. That will bring you to certain like office of advising and evaluations, where you can find the virtual advising, the phone advising, virtual desk, all this information, and they will be able to guide you to where to go to get a website. So this is information I want to share. So I want to start the Q&A. So there was one question says, is there a website online where we can see all these class options? Well, I just show you the electrical engineering website where you can go to the undergraduate program. For example, I go to electrical engineering, you can go to the catalog and you can see all the classes listed here. So this are all the classes that we offer. And then, of course, you can go to undergraduate tab again. You go to My Map, and you can go to this My Map, and it tells you which class you need to take in each semester. Very good plan for 4 years of study. And if you're a transfer student, basically you're skipping year 1 and year 2, you'll focus on year 3 and year 4. So that's, I have only one question in the chat. Any other questions? If you want to ask verbally a question, you can also unmute yourself. I believe you can, and then ask a question orally. Okay, so there's another question saying, are all the classes impacted? If they are impacted, how can you graduate in 4 years? No. In fact, the impacted means that there are certain, let me go on to, I want to show you on this website what it means for the impacted program. So you go to the general catalog, for example. This says here, let me zoom in, you can see better. It's here. It's only the class in this area is impacted, which means you need to take EE 210, Comp 160, Math 150, 151, Physics 195, and 196, and you have a 2.0 GPA, I mean 2.0 or C or better in these 6 classes. And then you have to have a 2.7 GPA overall. And this is what you have. But for any other classes, it depending on the class, you will have to pass with a D in any given class, and you have to have an average 2.0 GPA to graduate in the measure, and also you have to meet the prerequisite. For example, let me tell you this one. If you take EE 300, you have to finish 210 with a C or better before you can take EE 300, right? So let's go to another class. So for example, if you take 410, before you take 410, you have to finish 310 and 300 with grade C minus or better, which means if you took a 310, you got a D. You will not be able to take 410. You have to go back to retake 310 before you can take 410. And also, you can only repeat a class twice. You cannot repeat 3 times, which means if you get a C minus or less, or any grade, you can repeat that once before you go on to the next class. But you can repeat only once, not 3 times. Okay, great. Any other questions? I think we got another 3 minutes before we finish the session. Please, any questions? So I want to mention that this presentation is recorded. It will be available. If you want to go back to see what you have missed, you can do that. And also, we're going to have another open house presentation on April 17th. I believe it's April 17th. At the same time, 11 o'clock. So if you want to come back at another time, you have a question you want to ask, you're welcome to do that. Okay, I do have another question coming in saying, how many EE finish their graduation in 4 years? That's a very good question. It depends on which year. I think our graduation ratio has increased over the years, but it's still fairly low. A couple of years ago, we only have about 14% in EE and 17% in Comp for graduating in 4 years. I think last year, we are doing much better. We are close to 30% student graduate in 4 years. But I have to say that this delay in graduation often have many reasons. One of the reasons is that many of our students get an internship in their third year or in their last year, and then they continue on with a full-time job. So by that time, they're not able to take classes full-time, so they will take class part-time. So that causes delay in their graduation. Second reason is that many of our students have to work part-time in order to support their study and support their family. So on that topic, I want to extend that to all of you. We have many scholarship opportunities and financial aid available. Be sure on the lookout and search on the SDSU website and apply. It's interesting that many students don't know. Sometimes we got scholarships, we don't have applicants to award. So many of the scholarships are not that difficult to get. Many of them only ask for 3.0 GPA, or some others only ask you for 2.0 GPA. So just try to apply to as many as you think you qualify, and we'll try to get that. So that's the second reason. So students doing part-time job, part-time study because they financially they need to do that. And the third thing is that some of the students transfer to other programs. The way that SDSU counts student graduation is that when they come in, they declare what major. So if they transfer to another program and they don't graduate, they still count as a graduation ratio for the EE or COMPI. So that has a certain impact. Of course, we also have students transfer into our program, which if they graduate, even in 4 years, they're counted to other program graduation ratio, but not ours. So that's kind of interesting how that is calculated. And finally, I think we do have some students who stop study in the middle and they now come back. So these are staying on here for many, many years. They are still part of our, lowering our graduation ratio. So I think if you work full-time, if you study full-time and you do decent amount of study and work and you are following the mind map, you should be able to graduate in 4 years or slightly. If you fail some classes, that definitely it's going to drag you on to the future. So hopefully that answers your question. Let me go to the next question. Are computer engineering majors able to easily get jobs right after college? Yes. I can tell you this. Most of our students, if they have a good GPA and good interpersonal skills, they get job before they graduate. This couple of years, I supervise senior design groups, and it turned out that every group that I supervise got a job right before they graduate or at the time of their graduation. We do have students who continue to look for jobs after graduation, but most of them get a job in a fairly reasonable amount of time. Of course, some students do go to graduate school, and that is an option for many students. In order to go to graduate school, I have to tell you, you need to maintain 2.8 GPA or above for most schools. And for elite schools, you have to keep a 3.0 GPA, to be eligible for graduate school. So that's why it's very important to study hard to maintain a good GPA throughout the study at SDSU or at any school. Let me go to the next question. Are internships available during the freshman and sophomore years? I would say yes, but internships are difficult to secure if you are sophomore and freshman because you don't have the kind of skills for many jobs that are needed. But if you have solid hands-on experience in your high school, for example, you participate in robotics competitions and others that you may be able to find. Internship is not a guarantee, and it's not something that the school can offer to each student. It's something that students has to work with companies to secure the job opportunity. We do offer help, like we have internship coordinators who solicit job opportunities, post it, and help students in securing these positions. But again, we do have students who start the internship. Like I can tell you right away, my son actually started internship even before his freshman year. So he got right after high school, and he got an internship in a prototyping lab. So that's something you can do, but it's again, it depends on your skill set, and it depends on the opportunity that are coming out. But most students have the internship in their after their third year, which means in the summer of after their sophomore year, they get the internships. Okay, next question that are internships available? No, actually, next one is, do we have 5-year master program for E and C? Yes, we have this, it's called a concurrent enrollment. Basically, you spend 5 years, you get both bachelor's and a master's degree. We don't have many students in that program. However, it is an option available. The way that you can get a master's degree in just 1 more year is that because the class, some of the class you take during your senior year can be double counted. So normally the class you take either for bachelor or for your master's, but in this dual degree enrollment, you will be able to double count some classes towards your bachelor degree, but it can also be counted towards your master degree. By doing that, you can shorten your study time for 1 year. So instead of 4 + 2, now you finish in 5 years. So that option, yes, it's available. Talk to us if you are interested. Now we can put you in that program. And this program is also competitive, which means you have to maintain a good GPA. You know, to be eligible for that, and you can do that at any time. It doesn't mean that you have to secure that when you come in, but you can actually choose that during your second year or your third year. But by the first year, it's too late. So you need to do that in your second or third year at the school. Okay, so next one is that if I will be transferring this fall, will I be able to take summer classes? Yes, I think you should be able to take classes in the summer. And just email me, and I'll give you more details on that student will be able to take some. I'm pretty sure that you can take a class in the summer. However, we don't offer that many classes in the summer. So let me show you what class we offer. For example, the EE. So it may not be, in fact, applicable to you because you have to. So if you go to class schedule, again, you search on Google, you can find the class schedule SDSU, and over here you can select the main campus, and then you can select summer, and you can update for the summer, and then you can look at the course by subject. For example, if you take a GE class, you can look at whether they offer this. For example, you can look by department. What I want to show you is that whether this is going to be offered. For example, let's see if they offer this in the math department in the summer. If you want to take, for example, math 150 or 151, or if you don't have prerequisite for 150, for example, 151 require 141 as a prerequisite, which you already taken in high school. If you didn't take this one, you need to take a 141. Now, and then you can take this summer class in 150 in the summer. Yes, you can. But there is certain steps you have to take before you can enroll in classes. I want to go to electrical engineering, and then it includes both COMP and EE classes. For example, we offer EE 300, but that prerequisite is EE 210. So you have to take EE 210 before you can take EE 300. We do offer EE 210 also in the summer, which means if you want, you can take this class in the summer. If you already have math 151 and the physics 196 at the prerequisite. So yes. Okay, we have a couple more questions coming in. Can you be able to easily get job? Also, are you available? Do you have okay? Maybe okay. Next one. What companies do computer engineering students have internship with? Most local. No, our students take computer engineering jobs all over the place. You do have companies like Qualcomm, Apple, and Cymer, and what is the other company? The company Dextel, for example, the glucose monitoring company, and you have a defense company like Swivel, Cubic. You have NG, all this company, and then you also have Tesla, for example, and you have other companies in the Bay Area. And you have companies all over the country: Austin, Texas, Dallas, Georgia, you name it, Florida, Michigan Automotive, for example. Yeah, and then the financial industry, for example, they do hire computing engineers for their security, their IT, and so on. So there's a lot of opportunities. It's not just limited to local, but students take them all over the place. But you should take them full-time internship. Apparently, summer is the best time. Otherwise, if you take it during the regular semester, you may not be able to take classes. You take opportunity out of town, right? So all of this has to be considered when you look for internship. Okay. Any further questions? If not, I think I want to thank everybody for the opportunity. And I hope that you enjoyed today's session and you will join us in the fall. I'll be looking forward to meeting every one of you. Good luck with the rest of the semester and the summer, and wish you all success. Whether you come here to join SDSU or whether you go to another school, I wish everybody of you a success in your future study. Oh, okay, I do have another question coming in. What are the main aspects that makes SDSU computing engineering program different from other schools? There are many. I think one of the things that I think is our hands-on skills that we teach students, and the diversity of classes that we offer, and also our connection with the industry, especially locally. So I think you can probably name a few others, and also I think the environment that we offer students, and also with the tutoring, for example, all the opportunities that we give our students. Okay. So with that, I want to again thank you again. Thank you. Have a good day, and bye-bye.